Palestinian death toll from hunger and malnutrition has risen to 175 due to the blockade of Israeli-promoted humanitarian aid against the Gaza Strip. Argentina President Javier Milei has vetoed laws regulating social assistance such as pensions, social security, moratoria, and disability emergencies. On Sunday, rescue teams confirmed the discovery of two more bodies inside the Teniente copper mine located in the O'Higgins region in central Chile. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. The Palestinian death toll from hunger and malnutrition has risen to 175 due to the blockade of Israeli-promoted humanitarian aid against the Gaza Strip. According to health organizations, at least 7 people have died in recent hours, which increases the food crisis in the Palestinian territories. In this regard, they warned that 20,000 children were hospitalized for acute malnutrition, while 300,000 children under 5 urgently need medical attention. In addition, they warned that despite the entry of some trucks of humanitarian aid airdrops, food needs in the Gaza Strip remains unmet. Meanwhile, social organizations held the President of the United States, Donald Trump, responsible for the famine that daily claims the lives of civilians in the Gaza Strip. At the same time, they rejected the humanitarian aid distribution centers created by Washington and Tel Aviv because they were a trapped plan to murder thousands of Gazans. The Palestinian authorities denounced that since May 27th, more than 1,300 civilians were killed as a result of Zionist attacks on food delivery points. As part of their starvation policies, Israeli forces have killed 97% of the cattle and working animals in the Palestinian territories. According to Gazan authorities, 93% of chicken farms were destroyed by Zionist attacks, while the rest were forced to completely shut down. They warned that the attacks are intended to starve families in the Gaza Strip. At least 119 Palestinians were killed in Israeli bombings against the Gaza Strip in the last 24 hours. The Palestinian Ministry of Health reported that 866 wounded entered health centers, which are overwhelmed by the number of victims of the Zionist siege. In turn, they reported that ambulance and civil protection teams have not been able to rescue people trapped under the rubble or on the roads since Israel keeps their passage blocked. Since October 7, 2023, almost 60,900 Palestinians have been killed, murdered, mostly women and children, victims of the Israeli genocide in the Gaza Strip. Thousands of Palestinians are protesting in the occupied West Bank to condemn the genocide in the Gaza Strip and show solidarity with those kidnapped in Israel. Sunday's march was part of the International Day of Support for Gaza and prisoners in Israeli jails, with official institutions, political and civil forces taking part. With Palestinian banners and flags, the protesters denounced the genocide, the blockade of humanitarian aid, and the famine crisis caused by Israeli forces in the coastal enclave. They also demanded the release of the Palestinian hostages.
This is a call to the world to expose the ongoing crimes against captives in prisons and detention centers, and against our people in the Gaza Strip, who are being subjected to a real genocide. This crime has reached its highest levels, and this occupation will continue to commit these crimes as long as there is scandalous international silence. Therefore, the international community is complicit in all this suffering as long as it does not intervene quickly to save the Palestinian people, men and women confined in prisons.
I
am here to show my solidarity with our people in the besieged, starving, and exhausted Gaza Strip. We are here to tell the world that enough is enough.
We hope that our demonstration today will have an impact in supporting our people and the starving children in Gaza, and in supporting the captives in the prisons of the occupation. We ask the world to support them, resolve their crisis, and save them from the death they are experiencing.
In Iraq, the International Al-Aqsa Call Conference held in the city of Karbala in support of the Palestinian people wrapped up Sunday. Religious, political and social leaders from several countries expressed their willingness to support the people on the Gaza Strip against the Israeli aggression. They also emphasized that it is a religious, moral and humanitarian duty to defend the thousands of Palestinian victims there. They also urged countries around the world to denounce international silence as flagrant complicity with genocide and to confront the Zionist siege and aggression. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif met with visiting Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian to deepen bilateral trade, energy and regional security cooperation. On a meeting held Sunday, the Iranian leader thanked Pakistan for its support in the face of Israeli aggressions in the region. On his part, the head of Pakistani diplomacy stressed that any attack on the neighboring country is considered an attack on both nations due to their brotherhood ties. Thus, Islamabad and Tehran have reaffirmed that strengthening their economic, scientific and cultural relations is an urgent necessity for strengthening the Middle East.
Both sides believe that, in partnership and with the participation of countries in the region, especially Muslim countries, active and practical cooperation should be established. It is necessary to strengthen cooperation to counter the aggression of the expansionist Israeli regime. In this regard, initiatives were discussed to strengthen the necessary cooperation to foster stability and security in the region.
Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said that rejection of the Israeli aggressions against Palestine, Lebanon and Syria was the central topic of discussion at the meeting with the Pakistani Prime Minister.
A condemnation to the crimes against humanity committed by the Zionist regime in Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria, as well as the continuation of its flagrant destabilizing actions in the region, and the need to put a stop to all of it, was the main issue discussed at the meeting.
And now we have a short break coming up, but first remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates and more. We'll be right back, stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. Argentina President Javier Milei has vetoed laws regulating social assistance such as pensions, social security moratoria and disability emergencies. For such decision to hold in Parliament on Monday, it will need the support of 1/3 of the legislators. Milei says these expenditures will negatively impact fiscal balance, for the government has insufficient resources to finance them. Still, the Milei administration has granted Argentinian agricultural oligarchs a multi-million-dollar tax cut on their exports. The opposition must get 2/3 of legislators in the Chamber of Deputies to defend the laws and revoke the presidential veto. On Sunday in Venezuela, indigenous communities are voting representatives to their 69 municipal councils. According to the National Electoral Council, polling stations opened at 7 a.m. local time in 8 states across the country. At least 6,367 indigenous people are registered voters. In Venezuela, the indigenous people make up approximately 2.8% of the total population, and the results of this August 3rd indigenous elections will be announced in all 6 municipalities next Monday. In Venezuela, Flag Day has been commemorated at the National Pantheon. Political authorities gathered Sunday to honor the 219th anniversary of the first raising of the country's flag. As part of this commemoration, a solemn session was held, led by cadets from the Bolivarian Military University. The gathering marked the date on which Generalissimo Francisco de Miranda first raised the tricolor flag of Venezuela. On Sunday, the state-owned mining company Codelco confirms the discovery of a fourth body in the Teniente mine, and the death toll rises to 5. With this new discovery, there are now 5 workers who have lost their lives in this tragic accident. The victims are added to Paulo Marin and Gonzalo Núñez, who were recently identified. The regional prosecutor Aquiles Cubillos reported that the bodies were found in the same area where the first victim was found, near the 2:30 a.m. Personnel from the legal medical service were delivered to the site to carry out the corresponding expertise. Rescue efforts are now focused on finding the last of the 6 missing miners. On Saturday, the President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, created a commission attached to her office with the mission of developing an electoral reform initiative that includes changes related to popular representation and citizen participation mechanisms. One of the Commission's primary tasks will be to conduct an in-depth assessment of the current state of the electoral and party model. To lead the initiative, the President appointed Pablo Gomez, current head of the Financial Intelligence Unit, who also serves as advisor to the National Electoral Institute. President Sheinbaum, who is entering her 10th month in office with an approval rating of over 64%, will announce the names of the other commissioners throughout the week. In the United States, social organizations have resumed protests in Los Angeles to condemn Trump administration policies. Participants in the mobilization denounced that their organizations have suffered institutional repression from such entities as immigration and customs enforcement. They say raids in Los Angeles are taking place in Latino neighborhoods, targeting people of color. They said protesters will also be held in support of the National Day of Rage against the regime and against cuts to food, education, and basic services programs. In the United States, the mega fire Dragon Bravo rages in the state of Arizona, causing fire clouds to form for at least 7 consecutive days. The Dragon Bravo fire broke out on July 4th when a lightning struck at Grand Canyon National Park. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, it is the largest active fire in the 48 contiguous states of the country. What started as an isolated spark turned into a massive force that has destroyed more than 45,000 hectares and continues to spread out of control, which has turned this phenomena into a mega fire. Dragon Bravo is considered the largest fire in the Grand Canyon National Park area since 1984. India records flooding damage caused by torrential rains in the south of the country. According to authorities, more than 15,000 buildings were submerged underwater and several infrastructures were reportedly damaged by the intense rains. After the Ganges River overflowed, floods unleashed the city of Prayagra and its surroundings. Meteorological agencies warned that the water level could rise in the next 48 hours, therefore urging the public to take precautions. Southern Russia reports torrential rains, floods, flash floods and landslides in Krasnodar province. The Ministry of Emergency Situations reported a rise in the Defan River and flooding, leaving at least 130 tourists stranded in the Goryashi-Kilush region. The ministry stated that the rushing waters destroyed a bridge and swept away poles and trees in their path. Emergency teams reported that the area is being evacuated to rescue and treat affected civilians. Meanwhile, a tornado struck tourists on the Black Sea coast. Snowstorm lamped southeast Australia, causing road blockades and temporary train disruptions. Local authorities reported that about 200 vehicles are still trapped under snow and more than 32,000 homes and businesses are less than 32,000 power due to a strong wind. In addition, a woman was reported missing after being swidden. New England and Hunter regions were also affected by rainfall and snow was recorded in Queensland state. And we have a second short break coming up. Before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Pana show already, don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. Ukrainian military forces attack an oil depot in the northeastern Black Sea in Russia. Authorities reported that a Ukrainian drone crashed into a fuel tank at the facility, causing a massive fire. More than 125 fighters arrived at the scene to extinguish the blaze and rescue possible victims. The Ministry of Defense reported that more than 90 unmanned vehicles were shot down in the Red Sea, while in the north of the country, at least 4 people were injured by Ukrainian attacks. In China, the torch for the 15th National Games and 12th National Paralympic Games, along with the 9th National Special Olympics, was officially unveiled on Saturday. Named Blossom, the torch design embodies the shared Lingnan cultural heritage of Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau, symbolizing the 3 regions as one family. He Zhe, lead designer for the torch, explained that the core design philosophy of Blossom is fusion and glory, representing exchange and integration and shared prosperity. From a top-down view, the torch's flame nozzle forms the wave-like shape of the game's emblem, with the Guangdong Kapok, Hong Kong Bauhinina, and Macau Lotus flowers intertwined, representing the innovative spirit of the Greater Bay Area. In Nicaragua, the 11th edition of the International Festival of Arts, Cultures and Gastronomy of Our Peoples kicked off at the Olive Palm Convention Center with representatives from 42 countries. The event, sponsored by the Nicaraguan Institute of Tourism, offers families a multicultural experience that brings together dances, flavors and artistic expressions from around the world. promoting unity, recreation, and cultural exchange. The co-director of the Nicaraguan Institute of Tourism, Mara Stotti, and the coordinator of the National Commission for Creative Economy, Camila Ortega Murillo, highlighted the richness of this international showcase, which strengthens the bonds of brotherhood and of the creative spirit among peoples.
Damos la bienvenida con mucho, pero con mucho cariño a cada uno de ustedes.
We warmly welcome each and every one of you, our protagonists, our fraternal ambassadors, who have made it possible for us to enjoy this art, this culture, and above all this cuisine, here today under one roof. We are enjoying a variety of cuisines from different cultures, and this exchange of affection and love between us through the efforts of our good government, our co-president, Commander Daniel, and our comrade, Rosario, so that in a country of harmony, we may enjoy these special moments, prepared with great love for all Nicaraguan families. We appreciate the presence and support of you all. We enjoy it very much, and we embrace this moment, and we look forward to many more years of celebration, exchange, and embracing each other as sister nations to continue this transformation and to share these moments with each other.
In Venezuela, the Rómulo Gallegos International Nobel Prize was awarded to Argentine writer Vicente Batista for his literary work, The Simulacrum of Mirrors. During the international awards ceremony, the president of the Rómulo Gallegos Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies, Pedro Calzadilla, led the ceremony, highlighting that the call for entries was flooded with 513 applications from writers who wish to participate and compete. It was also noted that the best response to the smear campaigns against the famous award is to highlight the high number and quality of novels submitted for recognition in its latest edition. For his part, the country's Minister of Culture, Ernesto Villegas, emphasized that the Rómulo Gallegos Award is a prize for books that emancipate the consciences of the world.
El simulacro de los espejos, según palabras del
The Simulacrum of Mirrors, in the words of the jury that awarded the prize, is an inspirational work that creates a very particular oppressive atmosphere and reflects some of the main features that define contemporary society: the presence of invisible dictatorial powers, surveillance consented to by those being surveilled, the logic of the show permanently contaminated by politics and social life, the deluge of meaningless messages, spiritual emptiness, as well as the impossibility of protecting privacy from the morbid gaze of others.
And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok as well. For Telesur English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.